What is a buzzworthy, clickable 10-letter word that you have heard recently? Well, if you're the news, it's millennial. It seems like left and right news articles have something to do with millennials. Millennials did this, millennials did that. In today's video, we are going to talk about some things that the news and other articles say that millennials are killing off. So with the help of this article from Reader's Digest, 20 things millennials have been killing off in the last decade. So if you aren't aware, millennials are considered from 1981 to 1996, the 15-year age gap, or not age gap, or span of ages that are considered millennials. And I thought that was so interesting. I mean, it's really become a buzzword. I was born in 1984 and I got to see, you know, when 1999 turns into 2000 and everybody thought that everything was going to shut down because nothing could figure out how to turn from 1999 to 2000, you know, the banking, all that. But millennial is just thrown around as a buzzword and clickable and almost pinpointed. And I love that this person, Tina Donvito, wrote in this article about this. She says that why every other day it seems like millennials are accused of killing something. You know, it's because of us. What are we doing? I mean, I don't know why we're so interesting as it is, but they are really changing the culture. Are they really changing the culture more than any other generation? Okay. Every generation engages in the process of looking at the world around them and seeing what's there that they want to continue. Okay. What do they want to do? And then also there's advances in life that change things, right? It's not just a group of people deciding something is not useful. So there are 20 things that she talks about in this article, and I am not going to talk about all of them. I will have the article linked down below. Definitely check them out and read it further. There are some absolutely more interesting ones in there than just the ones I'm just going to talk about in this video. The first one is so funny because it's one of those things that we talk about in frugal living, and is napkins. And I'm assuming they mean like disposable actual napkins that you go and buy. They believe there's no point in buying napkins when you can just use paper towels. Don't they work just as well? Yeah, don't they? Why would you spend more money on napkins if a paper towel works just as well? Or if you're a frugal person, then having an actual cloth napkin that you throw in the washing machine. And trust me, my cloth napkins do not look fantastic, meaning I don't care that they're ironed. They don't have to be unwrinkled. We just fold them up, wash them, or use them, wash them, fold them up, put them back, and use them again. They're not those fancy, you know, perfectly folded. We just have napkins that we use. We don't use paper towels or paper napkins. So it was reported in the Washington Post, I guess, that millennials found that only 56% of those surveyed bought napkins in the past 6 months, but 86% bought paper towels. Sure, paper towels are less formal, but millennials don't go in for formality. No, we don't care about formality. It's not a thing. It's not important. We are not living in that time. Speaking of formality, I did a video on all about Downton Abbey, so I will link that one down below, about life lessons that the show teaches you. If you haven't seen Downton Abbey, I think it's a really good series. But formal dress codes is the next thing that she talks about as far as millennials killing off. Yep, I agree. It says that speaking of formality, we're not living in Downton Abbey, you know, where they got dressed up and had to wear, you know, coat and tails for dinner. No one of any generations gets formally dressed for dinner anymore. Even at work, formal attire has definitely been in flux since the 1920s. There was a survey done, and it said that according to one survey, 40% of millennials look to Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, famous for wearing hoodies, jeans, and t-shirts, and that as their business role model. Ironically, new expectations might mean you'll still be judged for your work attire just now based on your clothes cool factor. So, you know, how cool do you have those Grey Goose shoes? Grey Goose? Golden Goose, Grey Goose. That's vodka, Jennifer. Golden Goose is the shoes, you know, the ones you've seen that are all dirty looking, and you buy them like that for $400, which is asinine to me. Anyway, just my personal opinion. I like, my thing with formal wear, not formal wear, but like work wear, work attire is comfortable. I want to look no stains, holes, you know, ill-fitting clothes, and I don't wear jeans every day. But they make some really comfortable clothes. I don't care about brands. It doesn't matter to me. If I'm comfortable and I feel put together, that's what matters. And I am not going to worry about what somebody thinks of me and wear something uncomfortable. Like, you know, in Downton Abbey when they were wearing the corsets. I don't think so. Won't wear heels. Those are not. I fall down going upstairs. You do not want to try to elevate and get me off of my flat feet. So something else that millennials are accused of killing off are casual dining restaurants. So it says that even if millennials are dressing casually for dinner, that doesn't mean that they actually want to go to a casual dining chain such as TGI Fridays, Ruby Tuesdays, Applebee's. I mean, those places have been going downhill for a while. That's all I gotta say. I know there's a new Applebee's song, but you know, moving on. And all those places have seen a 2.4% drop in sales. I would not bother going to any of those places. No offense, not my thing. I would rather go to Chipotle. You know, quicker, tastier, you know, definitely don't have to wait. The article says that with so many more options, including those that are faster, healthier, and even shipped to your door, diners are simply eating elsewhere. I mean, the other thing that was interesting, my husband said he noticed, is that people aren't eating out as much, obviously because of the cost, but when they do go out to eat, they're going to more of, not necessarily upscale, but more of an interesting restaurant. So they're willing to spend more for that dinner versus 3 dinners during a week at just some random place that they're used to eating. So they're going less frequently, but they're spending more when they do go to have maybe more of an experience in the meal. It says that millennials are also cooking home more. They're broke. They want better ingredients such as organic and non-GMO, more convenience, and they care about supporting local independent businesses. I don't know about they're broke. They're not all broke, FYI. That's the other thing. Again, they're kind of pinpointing a generation based on certain habits when there are other generations of, I don't know, Gen Zs, Gen Xs, baby boomers that are also broke too, or some people. Just because one millennial you know is broke doesn't mean another one is. Doesn't make any sense. The next thing millennials are accused of killing off are large homes. Now let's talk about this one. This one gets very much into what's happening right now, but it says millennials just aren't able to buy that big house. Now again, here goes into the, are we broke? Maybe we just don't want a big house. Maybe we've come to realize that we don't want that status symbol, right? We're all open and able to make our own decision and our own idea of what works best for us. Homeownership rates are lower than in previous generation. Among other things, you can blame student loan debt, high prices in cities where the best jobs are found. For a generation that is portrayed as privileged, the millennial population is bearing an unprecedented cost and burden of cost inflation. You think? Especially now. While real income has increased moderately for some, it's nowhere near enough to keep up with the burden of cost inflation in key areas like homes. So it says, as priorities shift to from consumption to convenience, environmentalism as a minimalist lifestyle, forgoing the McMansions seems preferable. Basically, what I get from this is, I don't know, it's not necessarily that that millennials can't afford it. I think it may, and it absolutely has something to do with it, right? The home prices soared, and so things were becoming very difficult to buy. However, I think also with tiny homes and off-the-grid living, and things are coming back around to a more simple kind of a lifestyle. And this generation that's in their late 20s into their 30s, early 40s is realizing that what you saw before isn't necessarily what they have to have. Now, to each his own. You may want that big house, but then you may have somebody who just wants to go live in a camper. This one is so funny because it is absolutely true for myself. Doorbells. Of all the random things that millennials could kill off. Well, while this isn't exactly a scientific study, a viral tweet that garnered over 126,000 retweets and nearly 600,000 likes pointed out that millennials don't ring doorbells anymore. Instead, they just text the word here. Or in my case, I text knock knock to my friend. These are the kind of tweets we dare you not to laugh at. Is this anxiety over face-to-face interaction? Fear of who could be at the door? True, texting makes sense if you're picking someone up in the car. And texting doesn't always wake sleeping babies or make dogs bark. Doorbells also have a tendency to be broken. In our last house, our doorbell was broken, and it was fantastic. Because, you know, like solicitors or things, if somebody's coming over, I know they're coming over and I'm going to have the door open. I mean, meaning I have a screen door, I'll have that locked, and I'll have my main door. I know that they're coming over. People don't just randomly go to people's doors anymore. It's just not a thing. And having a child and a dog, you don't want the doorbell's annoying. Let me just tell you, it's almost like the home phone. That's annoying too, especially with all the dumb soliciting calls that come in. We have this thing called a knock nanny that we put on our doorbell when we bought this house, and it's this thing that you just screw on top and it says do not disturb. It had different things that you could put on it, but basically you cannot hit the doorbell. The last one I'm going to talk about in this video is breakfast cereal, and I just think this one's very interesting and funny to me that millennials are killing off breakfast cereal. Maybe we're realizing that it's just a filler food and that's all that it was, and it's not necessarily actually nutritious or good for you. Just my opinion. But it says, in perhaps the most head-scratching thing millennials have allegedly killed off, one survey found that 40% of millennials find the cleanup involved in eating breakfast cereal, you know, putting the bowl in the dishwasher, inconvenient. It's easier to grab portable food, such as a breakfast sandwich or yogurt, on the go. Some millennials hit back at this notion, saying they actually don't eat cereal because it's processed food lacking in nutrition. So exactly, my point, expensive and full of sugar, my point. So rather than giving the full context or understanding, you know, we aren't doing this because of convenience, we're doing it because of it's not necessarily good for you. You know, we're not killing things off necessarily. We're looking, there's cultural changes and shifts because we're discovering things, we're realizing things, we're waking up to certain things. It said, in any case, cereal saw a 5% drop in sales between the years of 2009 and 2014. Kellogg's cereal company, though, is getting creative by tapping into millennials' love for Instagram-worthy food. How is cereal Instagram-worthy? I'm not real sure. Anyway, cornflakes with avocado and cayenne pepper, anyone? Oh, that sounds disgusting. You know the interesting thing, I don't care. This is probably actually not interesting whatsoever. I've never eaten cereal, never liked cereal, never wanted cereal. People think I am nuts. It's the strangest thing. You tell people you don't eat cereal and they look at you like you are the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot. Seriously, are the looks that I get when I say I don't eat cereal. Obviously, I'm trending. So tell me down below, what do you think of this article? Check out the other things that it says that allegedly millennials are killing off or getting rid of, and give me your thoughts. What are some things that you've seen go obsolete? Put them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you back for more videos.